What's up, everyone? Welcome to an impromptu video, a weekly update on news in the product space, not just the product space, but the business space. If you like this concept, please let me know. Like, share, comment. All right, let's get stuck in. So the first story is to actually give you guys an update that it was earnings week in America. What that is every quarter, the big companies in America release their quarterly results, how they did financially. And obviously, being a product and tech space podcast, it's just fitting that a lot of the stuff driving the S&P and the markets in America are all in the tech space. So obviously, starting off with our friends at Amazon. So they recorded profits. They absolutely killed it. One of the biggest winners of the pandemic posted record profits on Thursday and signaled that consumers would keep spending in a growing US economy, and converts to online shopping are not going to likely leave anytime soon. So the whole move to online shopping in America is still growing, gaining pace. Remember, in the heavy lockdowns, people started ordering online. People were forced to order online. So their retail space is growing in Amazon. But that's not all that they do. They also, just to show you that their share price rose by 4% on the day of the earnings announcement. So it's always good to know when companies announce this, because you could, score on that 4%. But anyways, so what's important is to look beyond just the online retail side of Amazon, where it all began, but to know that they touted the results thanks to the cloud computing unit of Amazon Web Services. In just 15 years, AWS has become a 54 billion annual sales run rate, business competing against the world's largest technology companies, and it's growing and it is accelerating. So it's only getting bigger and bigger. And then the story goes on to say that they are going to be running 5G networks on their AWS. So it's only going to get even bigger as the world moves towards 5G. That's a whole subject on its own. And then above that, I mean, just to think that the size of what Amazon is that they're even growing their ad sales. So they've not always been big on their ads, but it clearly is a revenue stream for them. They might not take on Google or Facebook, but nonetheless, they're growing even in their ads. So they're an absolute beast of a company in America. And interestingly enough, if you've been following the news in South Africa, Cape Town will be getting their head offices in Observatory. So 4 billion rand development was approved by the city about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's by the River Club, and they're going to be building their headquarters there. So bringing jobs and everything to the market. 770,000 square meters of space for these headquarters. So big news there. Also good news for people living in OBS. Those property prices are going to be starting to climb. So yeah, obviously this is a developing story, and we'll let you know what happens there. But yeah, Amazon growing, and even in South Africa. And then, without having to beat it down, but Facebook, their revenue rose by 48%. I mean, it's crazy. And so you can see that they are very ads based. So they've increased their prices, but the fact is that they are just gunning it. Absolutely. Obviously, they still have eyeballs. That is the big thing for Facebook. And, you might not, trust them as a company. They've got a lot of data policies that we know are a bit sketchy as such. But at the end of the day, the company's earnings are just flying and and they're consistent. It just keeps going. And interestingly enough on that, I just wanted to also touch on an article that I read this week, is that Facebook is looking to build its own in-app podcast player. So in this article, they talk about how they actually have partnered with Spotify, and I think there's a plugin that you can use on Facebook to listen to your Spotify. It's not in South Africa just yet, so maybe over time we will get it. But the point is that there is a competition in the podcast space, and Facebook's looking to get into it. We've got Apple, we've got Spotify. There's a lot of companies that are fighting it out for the podcast space, which is absolutely skyrocketed since 2020, with so many people starting their podcasts just like me. Very interesting there. Let's see what happens with that. Also a developing story. Then obviously we got Tesla, and I want to talk about Tesla because for me, they are a company of the future. Their stock prices are probably overvalued, but the fact is that the company is continuously recording profits, something they struggled with for a long time. And I can't remember how many quarters or months, whatever it is that you need to remain profitable to qualify to go into the S&P 500, which is the major index in America where you can publicly buy and sell shares. So they're constantly making profit now. And if you understand, when you start a business, reaching break even is very important. And for a company as big as Tesla, they've even gone big. Like the fact that they're starting to make money now on a continuous basis means that the company's only going to grow. And they obviously, their main thing is electronic vehicles. They're also diving into self-driving vehicles. But some of the main things that they're trying to do is obviously the lithium battery, improving the battery life for electronic vehicles and other devices. So very interesting to see where it goes. And I'm also just going to bring it up because if you've been following the crypto space, and if you know me, you'll know I follow the crypto space, but Tesla bought, I think it was $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin earlier this year. And what happened was the price started skyrocketing. I think they made like $1 billion. I don't know, can't remember what it was, but they made a lot of money very quickly from it. The prices subsequently come down a little bit. And then it came out in their earnings announcement that Elon Musk has sold 10% of his Bitcoin, or of Tesla's Bitcoin. But he did that to prove its liquidity, to prove that it can work just like cash by buying and selling it. It can move, right? So made news. If you follow the crypto space, it's interesting to know and to follow the companies that are actually looking at, accepting the Bitcoin and crypto space, the currencies that are coming, the future, I would say. I'll stop going off on that, but very interesting that this information had come to light. Because if you didn't know, they also are allowing people to buy their Teslas using Bitcoin. So very interesting to see how this all unravels in such an interesting time. And then just to finish with the last story, I thought, we don't have to always just talk about what's happening in American or overseas tech companies. A friend of mine showed me that there's this Kalon Venture Partners, and this is a company that's registering an IPO that you can invest in. If you're on Easy Equities, you can go find them on there. But what's amazing is that there's some of these companies that have been around in the South African tech space for a while. I've known Flow for a while, and also Ozo, but you can see they've also got companies that are, startups in South Africa, also in the tech space, that have also got the opportunity to grow and go somewhere. So check them out. I mean, I don't know them that well, but it may be worth to know. The point that I want to make is it's important that we stay up to speed with what's happening around the world, to understand what's happening in the tech space, because we've also got a lot of startups that are happening, that are, in South Africa building up. So it's important to kind of know that this isn't just an American thing, that in South Africa, we also have our companies that are pushing boundaries, innovating, and also trying to go public and build and go. We've got Naspers, of course. So yeah, I don't know all of these companies, but if we like hearing more about them, I'll definitely get them onto the show. I'll start poking and getting the Flow people on, getting them to explain what they're doing. Ozo, for example. So yeah, if you like this, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, because then I can bring these people on and you can find out more about what they're doing in the product and innovation space. But I'm going to leave it there. Thanks again. Like I said, support the channel, and I hope to see you again next time I do this. Bye for now.